Hi everyone, it's Anthony back with another video, and it has been a very long time since I've posted or recorded anything. It was, I think, last year, I think it was last year. So I moved, I'm in a new place, I'm still trying to figure out, my recording space and stuff. It's a little bit of a different setup, and my bathroom is a lot smaller now, so it doesn't really make sense to film in there. Started a new job around the same time, and then this spring had some stuff going on with family that kind of kept me from really having the time to invest in filming, and so it just hasn't really happened, and I haven't felt super comfortable in this space when it comes to filming yet, so I'm still trying to figure that out, but I want to get back into it. So this is just kind of a let's get back to it. I'm super rusty. Let's start talking about products. In fact, I filmed a full empties video, and then I filmed an unboxing video as well, but the lighting was just really off, and so I've just been trying to play with that and, trying to find the right lighting, using kind of a mix of the natural lighting that's coming through the window here and then my own, so just trying to figure that out. But anyway, needless to say, I'm back. I hope that I can continue to provide videos for you, some good content about product reviews in regards to skincare. In my last video, I had some body care products, but we're going to skip that. So I'm going to parse this down just because I had already recorded those and I threw out a lot of the empties. I do have a few or a couple that I want to share. So I have 2 faves, and then I have 4 fails from the month of May. So let's just jump right into it. One of the favorite products that I had from this past month was it's going to be hard to see that with the lighting. This is the Misha Time Revolution Red Algae Treatment Essence. I still have a decent amount left here in the bottle, which I'm planning to give to a friend. Reason being is because I love this essence. So this features one single ingredient. It's the red algae, but within that ingredient, part of that process, they have a preservative in here, obviously, because it's a skincare product that's going to be sitting on shelves. It also has water, and I think one other thing in it too, but the main key ingredient out of the 4 or 5 that are in here is the red algae extract. And so this is fermented red algae. It's known for its hydrating properties as well as its antioxidant benefits, so kind of working behind the scenes to support skin, help to protect against free radical damage, environmental stressors, that type of thing. So it's this super nice, lightweight, watery essence, kind of similar to, I guess, the Time Revolution essence, like the original, the rice ferment one. And so let's see if we can get a little on the hand. But yeah, you can see it's just quite runny. It just kind of runs down the hand. It applies super well. It's totally layerable. You just kind of put a few drops in the hand, pat, 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 drops, pat, pat, pat. And I typically do that 3 or 4 times until I get that nice, dewy, bouncy skin. It's not brightening like the original essence from Misha. It is a little bit more focused on that hydration, and it really just sinks into the skin and gives that kind of plump, dewy, kind of glow from within look, as opposed to just sitting on the surface and really having to pat in. It feels like it just absorbs really well and gives you kind of that bouncy feel to your skin as well, and the hydration really does seem to last. So I wasn't too I guess I was hopeful for the product, obviously, but I wasn't super looking at it to be a total game changer or something incredible in my routine. I was just more curious because a couple of people that I follow on Instagram, Fitty Snails and Sugar Peaches Loves, they were kind of raving about it, and so decided to give it a try. Ended up really liking that one. So that's the Misha Time Revolution Red Algae Treatment Essence. I'm gonna be passing that off to a friend, and I might even decant it into some smaller bottles for a couple different people, because it really was a nicely hydrating, plumping, and skin supporting product that I want to share the last bit that I have with them. So there's my first win for the month of May. Okay, so the next product that is a win in my book for the month of May is the Klairs Fundamental fundamental watery oil drop. So this is a serum, 50 milliliters, which is actually a pretty good size because most serums come in at about 30 milliliters. But it is a watery serum, but it has this kind of oily feel. I don't know what they do with the texturizers and the different ingredients in the product to give it that almost oily consistency, but it's really interesting because it feels like oil, but it's still a watery serum. It doesn't have any oil products in it or oil-based ingredients. And then it absorbs really nicely, but still leaves a little of that kind of richness and nourishment that you would kind of feel from a light oil. So it's just a very interesting product, and it has some really great ingredients. You have green tea leaf water, rice extract, bifida ferment extract, rice ferment extract. You also have green tea leaf extract as well as that water. I think there's some sodium hyaluronate in here, of course, ceramides, and copper peptides. It's a really, really well-rounded formulation in a format that is just super unique. And what I loved about it is it provided my skin with a lot of hydration that lasted throughout the day, but that immediate glow and that kind of mild, K-beauty glow, or that sheen. Sometimes people call it a sheen, but I really, really love to have that kind of high glow look to my skin. It absolutely delivers that immediately. It's almost like a cosmetic effect, but then those ingredients help to support that similar kind of effect over time. So it was just a really, really nice serum. I found myself kind of slathering it on, but you don't need that much. Since it's a larger bottle, it has a larger dropper. But you probably need like a quarter of this dropper, if that, per application. So this should last you quite some time. I used it in the morning only just to start because it had that cosmetic glow, and then I started working it in morning and night, and I really, really like the hydrating effects from it, the mild brightening effects that it provided as well over time. And so I have been sitting on this product in my stash for quite some time. I don't even know when I bought it. It was some point last year, and the packaging never really jumped out to me. I mean, it's hard to even see it, but it's just kind of plain. It's kind of just ho-hum along with the some of the other fundamental line. And so it never really jumped out at me when I was grabbing stuff to try next in my routine. And then finally I was like, I need to get to this serum because I know it's been sitting around, and it's great. It's one of my favorite serums that I've tried kind of ever. It reminds me of the Neogen Micro Ferment Serum, and then the Peach and Lily Glass Skin Refining Serum. It reminds me of those. Those both offered like a really nice cosmetic glow, but this takes it a step further by actually delivering some, cumulative benefits over time as far as brightening and hydration, whereas those other two serums, they didn't do too much for me in the long run. They just felt nice when I applied it, and then a few hours later, whatever those benefits were, those effects were kind of gone, and I didn't really see things kind of build over time. This really did feel like it was providing a lot, not only in the short term, but in the about 6 weeks that I was using it. So decanted the little bit that I had left into a couple sample sizes for some friends so they can give it a try. But those were kind of my two big wins from May. I had a lot of other products that I used and emptied over the course of the month, but I tossed them all out after finishing this video the first time, and now I know not to do that until after I've actually looked over the raw footage and done my editing, because I saw it and I was like, oh no, like I was just very, very washed out, and I still might be, but it was pretty bad, and so I ended up just having to kind of start from scratch. So those are my two picks of my, best of last month. As far as my fails, I just picked one brand because I was able to I attempted to work in all of the products from the line into my routine last month so I could do a brand review, and I was pretty unhappy with almost everything, and it is Fenty Skin, unfortunately. And I love Rihanna, I love her music, I love her as a professional and as a celebrity, as an entertainer. But this skincare brand, Fenty Skin, just really fell flat for me, and I had pretty high hopes. So let's just kind of run through the products real quick. Overarching theme is I didn't like any of it. So we'll kind of go in order of how I used them, starting with the Total Cleanser, the Fenty Skin Total Cleanser. So this is a water-based cleanser, kind of that like gel cream style cleanser. It they all have some really nice ingredients. Like the formulations seem okay. So we have a number of fruit and herbal extracts in here. It's gentle surfactants. Nothing really jumps out from this formulation that's like, you know, on paper that's like, oh, that's not going to be good. And to be honest, the actual function of this cleanser is quite nice. It does develop into a kind of medium dense foam that does lather and last enough to get a good cleanse in. Feels good on the skin, rinses just fine, didn't leave me feeling stripped or feeling like there was too much. I use this as part of a two-step cleanse with the Pharmacy Very Cherry Cleansing Balm. So it's fine. It really is fine as far as what it does and its performance. It's the scent. It's the fragrance that they use, and this will be a theme throughout this entire breakdown of these products. So I'll just put a little on my hand just so you can kind of see the texture. The other thing that's kind of odd is it's one of those twist to open tops. You can see there, it's a twist to open, but there's like kind of a concave, I don't know if that's gonna focus. There's a concave feel to it, or a concave shape. So when you go to wipe it off, it always leaves that little bit of extra on the end there. So you have to go back through with your finger and like kind of do your best to like clean off the top, and then you close it and there's more sitting up there. So then you have to wipe it again. It's just not that functional. The packaging isn't that functional. Another theme to this review. So there it is on the hand. It's just a normal gel style cleanser. Or gel cream. It's not so thin that it runs down the hand, but it's not so thick that I would call it a full-on like cream cleanser. It's kind of a hybrid, but that scent is just, I know some people are going to be like, I love this. This is my scent. But to me, it's just like this bargain perfume, floral, powdery. It's just, oh, I really can't stand the scent. The cleanser is the most intensely scented product from all the whole line, or at least the 4 products that I have from the line, and it is awful. Every time I would go into the shower or be in front of my sink, I was dreading getting to this step, or dreading to do my water cleanse, because I knew that this scent was just gonna linger. It just kind of sits on the skin and I get whiffs of it even after I'm done with the rest of my routine, especially after using multiple Fenty Skin products. It just kind of layers onto it, and it's just really, it reminds me, like it smells like some kind of like, maybe like what I imagine Mary Kay and Avon products might smell like. Don't shoot me if you love those brands, but it just has this kind of powdery, floral, slightly fruity, like it's just terrible. I don't know what else to say. It's really bad. So I'm gonna go wipe this off. I put that on and I don't have anything to wipe it off with, so let me do that and I'll be right back. All right, so next up is the Fenty Skin Fat Water. Let's see if we can focus on that. As you can see, not very much is missing out of this bottle, so you might be like, Anthony, how are you gonna review it? Doesn't look like you used it. I only used it twice. Both times my skin immediately took on kind of a flushed hue and felt irritated, like that feeling of like either over exfoliation, or if you've been in the sun too long and you just have that almost like kind of itchy, a little bit stingy irritation to the skin, and my skin would get flushed. Any breakouts that I had or blemishes would kind of look a little bit inflamed, and that would last for probably about 10 to 15 minutes before it would go away, and then I could continue on with my routine. I just didn't want to put anything over that, and then the second time I even rinsed the toner off and essentially just started my whole skincare routine over with a different toner. So I don't know what's in here that's causing the issue. Witch hazel water is the second ingredient on the list, which some people don't have an issue with. And in small amounts, I don't necessarily have an issue with it either. But I have noticed that my skin reacts a little bit odd if it's really high on the ingredients list, or I'm using like a pure like witch hazel toner. I've tried them a couple times and it almost feels a little bit too much for my skin, and my skin responds to it pretty poorly. So I think that's what might be going on here. But you do have niacinamide in here, which is awesome. I mean, there's a lot of really interesting extracts, like acerola fruit extract is in here, which is good for brightening, and it has some antioxidants in it. The scent is probably the most mild out of everything, at least from what I remember when applying it, and just out of the bottle. I can show you the consistency here. So it's got a little bit of weight to it. Not quite as heavy as some other products that I have used, but this is intended to be a serum slash toner combo. And so yeah, it has a little bit of that weight to it. And it's got that mild scent, that Fenty Skin scent. It seems to absorb okay. I honestly, this is almost like a first impressions video all over again, just because I put it on my skin the first time and I was like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? And I kind of just let it sit, moved on to my routine. I was like, that's interesting. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. And then the next day I did it again and I was like, nope, like I'm sorry, but I just can't. So I'm going to see if I have a friend or family member that's that wants to give it a try, but I'm definitely going to tell them to proceed with caution. So this is one that I can't really give too much of an opinion on, other than it irritated my skin pretty badly and it just left kind of a stingy redness behind. So next up is the Fenty Skin Instant Reset Overnight Recovery Gel Cream. There's that for you. And this is essentially a night mask, a rich overnight cream, just like it says. And this product, as well as the one that we're going to talk about next, are actually refillable. And here's where I take issue with the packaging. I think the packaging on all of these products is just not really thought through super well as far as practicality and function, but this and the next product especially. So this is kind of the tub it comes in, and so it's refillable. It's got this little like flip up metal piece, which I think is supposed to help you to unscrew it. You kind of flip it up. The spatula, which I stole out of here, and sitting in the bathroom, you kind of twist to open it. So it's almost like a grippy handle to let you kind of twist it. But then I also noticed that the opposite side, yeah, so the opposite side opens as well, kind of. I don't know for what purpose. I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing that or if it's just cracked, like my version was cracked. But I noticed, like, when I went to open it for the first time, that piece popped off as well, and I was like, oh, that's strange. So I don't know if that's intentional or not, but so you open it, and then you've got your moisturizer inside, and then that pops out. I think, I haven't even popped it out, but I think it twists out, and then you can pop a new one in it. So even though I think the purpose of the refillable products is to be less wasteful, use less plastic, but the actual like pop-out container is plenty thick. Let's see if I don't know how I'm gonna get this out since it still has product in it. I'm hoping that you can just trust me and see, but that inner ring where the actual refillable part is plenty thick, and in my eyes, you could just slap the sticker or slap the label on that inner tub and call it a day. So I think it uses just as much plastic, that refill does, as just having a normal bottle or a normal tub of moisturizer. If anything, it seems more wasteful to have an extra outer piece, because that inner one would suffice just fine as a tub of moisturizer. If they just put a lid on that and called it good, then you'd be fine. And I feel like a lot of people might accidentally throw away the whole thing or something like that, where they then have to go buy the full size again. It's not as environmentally friendly or as, eco-friendly and sustainable as I think the marketing would like you to believe. So I kind of took a little bit of issue with that. Whereas like the Human Race products from Pharrell, that plastic, that inner layer feels a little bit thin. And it looks like they really shrunk it down as much as possible. So it does actually maybe save some plastic over time. And who knows, maybe this is a different type of plastic, or maybe it's thinner than I'm thinking, but it would, in my head, I'm like, if you're buying that every single time, then just skip this outside piece and skip all the hassle of having to screw it in and having this weird double top. And it just doesn't seem very practical. And in fact, I think the tub screws in, or the top screws into you can see where the little rungs are. So this outside piece just really makes no sense. Regardless, the cream is fine. It wasn't quite dense enough that for what I was thinking it would be for an overnight cream. And in fact, I tried using it during the daytime a little bit too, and it was okay. It doesn't absorb super well either, which might be because it's a night mask and they want that occlusive layer to sit on the outside of the skin. But I really found that it didn't absorb, and it really felt like I just had something slipping around my skin. And then it stuck pretty drastically to my pillows and left them looking a little bit greasy in the morning, or the pillowcase had kind of like a darkness where I think where maybe the oil or the product was on the pillow. So it just didn't really perform that well for me, aside from the packaging. Smells similar to the rest of these products, not good. It's not as bad as a cleanser, but it's not great. But hopefully you can see that consistency there. And it doesn't jiggle or move. It's a pretty dense cream. So if you have particularly dry skin, it might soak in a little bit better and sit a little bit nicer, but me with kind of my normal combination, oily, definitely not dry, it just didn't feel quite right for me, either as a night cream or in the morning. And so I'm going to try to find someone that has some drier skin to give this off to. The other thing is when this product is full, I'm going back to the packaging because that's like the big issue for me. When you try to screw it in, if you miss it just a little bit, if you don't quite get it lined up, it likes to dip into the product, so you end up getting product on the outer ring. It's just poorly designed. I don't know. I really don't get it, but I guess, it's just not what I was expecting, really. So there's that for the moisturizer. The last product, and the one that I probably take most issue with the packaging more than anything else, is the Fenty Skin Hydrovisor. This is their... This is the sunscreen. So this uses chemical filters. You have avobenzone, homosalate, octisalate in here for an SPF of 30, broad spectrum. And so it comes, this is it all assembled. So this is the tube. You can focus on that, there we go. So yeah, this is the tube here. And then to dispense the product, you twist, I'm twisting the bottom, that pops up, and then you can pump the product out. But the actual inner layer is this guy. So this is the actual sunscreen container. This is the refillable piece. And this isn't an airless pump. That was kind of my thing with this is, oh, it makes sense. It's like Drunk Elephant, it's an airless pump. You can't really, if you're gonna do a refillable one, you have to have that outside casing if it is an airless pump, because once those are done, they're done. You can't really like push them back down or do anything like that. But this is just a normal twist up pump. So once again, why not just adjust this top a little bit more so it matches the size of the container, and put the darn purple sticker or whatever right on this hard plastic, and just sell this, and then you pump it out just like you would a normal sunscreen. There's no need for this elaborate case. If anything, once again, if someone accidentally tosses this or what have you, it just seems like 2 packages for one product, and it's just over-engineered and makes no sense to me. But, I mean, it's cute that it does that, I suppose. So it has that same kind of oddly floral, fruity scent that I'm not a fan of, and it does sting quite intensely if it does migrate to your eyes or you get it near your eye area, so you want to be aware of that. Otherwise, it's a fine sunscreen. It's kind of a medium weight cream style lotion sunscreen. I wish it was SPF 50 and I wish it didn't burn so badly, but there's a little bit left from inside. And that's the other thing is it pumps down so you feel like you've run out, like there's nothing left in there. But then you keep pumping it and randomly it'll spit out some, and it's because there's just so much stuck to the inside of that bottle that it's just kind of such a pain. So to really get all of it out, you need to take it out of the casing, kind of smack it with your hand, or take this out and run the the tube or run the pump thing, the stem, against your hand and then work it into your face. It's just give us a squeeze bottle, Fenty Skin. Just give us a normal squeeze bottle that probably uses a quarter of the packaging and call it good. It'll be easier to dispense. It'll be probably a little bit more sustainable than all this business. Like, this is so much stuff just for one 50 milliliter thing of sunscreen. It's just too much. It's too much. And yeah, that scent isn't great and it lingers. So I don't know. That's kind of my rant on Fenty Skin. This ended up being like, here's 2 random K-beauty products that you liked and then a rant video about Fenty Skin. But I was hoping for more in the way of like functionality. If you're going to do that refillable packaging, like really think it through. Make that scent a little bit more neutral, or offer some fragrance-free options similar to what I think Keys Soul Care has done from Alicia Keys. I believe they have a fragrance and fragrance-free version of their moisturizer. I just started using the Jlo Glow Serum, and after finishing with Fenty, I was like, oh God, Jlo, like what's gonna happen here? Like, what is this gonna smell like? And it's great. It's just a very like mild, slightly creamy, just a tiny, creamy, almost like sweet cream, like almost kind of a, not quite dessert, but it's just much more like subtle and mild, and it seems more thought through. I feel like even with that sunscreen on and a little bit of that toner, I feel like I'm drowning in like some kind of Claire's perfume or like something. It's bad. It's bad. So that's it. That's my kind of 2 hits and 4 fails for the month of May. Let me know if you have any questions about these products, want me to go into more detail. I'll try to get back into the game, be a little bit better about writing out the key ingredients and stuff. This was pretty impromptu because I was like, I just need to film, especially after having those 2 videos that I did that kind of flopped as far as the lighting goes. So I'll continue to adjust and improve what's going on in my space here, try to adjust this, the camera and where my setup is. This is essentially just my skincare shelves back here, and I have some more over here that I thought would make a good backdrop. But I will be filming as frequently as possible and doing some reviews for some brands. There's a couple products that I'm super excited to share with you all. So comment with any questions, any recommendations, any products that you've been eyeing and want to know what my thoughts might be. I might have used them already. You can find my blog, ajkbeauty.wordpress. I'll put the link below. You can also follow me on Instagram at ajkbeauty, and I think that's everywhere I'm at. So thank you again so much for watching, and as always, stay glowing. Bye!